Welcome everyone to frame 36 of Gutterball. We're coming at you live on a Thursday evening. It is February 23rd. We're feeling great. We got our wonderful guest Jake joining us. We'll just go in real quick. How's everyone week's going? How you feeling? How you feeling, Paul?
Not too bad. Well, actually, I kind of feel like garbage. I've been kind of sick the last couple days.
Hey, you mentioned that.
I've still been working out, still going to work, whatever. Just because like I just can't really miss work right now. We have a lot of projects going on, but yeah. So kind of just like I don't know, scratchy throat. At first, dude, I woke up the other day and I thought I had like bronchitis, which I haven't had since I was like 12. You guys ever had that?
Yeah.
Garbage.
Oh yeah, it's
like, dude,
I was a carrier, dude. I used to get it every year.
Yeah, your lungs like just hurt. Like I woke up and I was like, like I was just like I was dying. Wasn't a good time. But other than that, not too bad. Jake, how's your week going?
It's going all right, man. Just working and trying to make it through another week.
For sure, man. Nice. For sure. How about you, Jackson?
I've been pretty good. Post wisdom teeth removal. I think we talked about it last in the cast. So I've been just kind of recovering from that, kind of chilling. But other than that, I've been good. Just grinding out content for y'all to enjoy, and still kind of searching, finding new jobs and stuff like that. But I've been good, chilling.
That's good. We
had a lot of great topics this week. I mean, man, hundreds to pick from. But maybe we'll just jump right into post wisdom teeth removal for me.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? No, I slow the roll here.
Yeah.
Let's introduce Jake. All
right.
Yeah.
Because
people gotta know what you're about. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
my manners.
It's all good. Just don't let it happen again. Okay. All right. Well, Jake, yeah, just tell us a little about yourself. Maybe like what you do roughly for a living. How you kind of came on the show. How you know me. I mean, obviously we have some history, and yeah, just jump right in.
Yeah. I sell cars for a living. Paul, me and you knew each other, what, probably 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Went to high school together. Paul helped me pass our biology class, and whenever I needed a Papa Murphy's pizza, he always got them for me half off, so that was clutch.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I was the hookup at Papa Murphy's. I think you delivered pizza to my parents' house a couple times. Yeah, dude. I was like, is that Jake? And you're like, what's up, man? That was cool. But yeah, man. And honestly, the rest is history. Like that's the kind of like what you were talking about before the show, Jake. It's like, it's cool to like years later see people that you like kind of grew up with or knew like when you were younger, and then like they're kind of like doing well or like have something going on. And that's super cool. So I'm glad like you're doing well. It's cool to catch up again, because that happens all too much, man. There's a lot of people like that we're friends with in high school, maybe even closer than we were. And it's just like, once high school's done, it's like, you don't see them ever again. It's kind of sad actually, but it's growing up. I mean, it is what it is. Thank you for coming on, Jake. This is going to be a great show.
Glad to have you.
Ton of good topics here. Before we get rolling into any of our topics, off the top of your head, you got any funny car salesman stories you can tell on the show?
Well, none really yet, because I'm still so new at it.
Yeah.
I just sold this guy a new Jeep.
Okay.
And usually the new cars smell like when you're out driving it, like that oil that they initially put in it at the manufacturer that just sits in there when you run it. You just get that burnt oil smell, and everyone usually knows like it's a new car. That's just gonna burn off.
Yeah.
This dude took it Friday evening. He was already in our service department the next morning when I got there, and I'm like, dude, like, what's wrong? And he was just, there's a huge oil smell in this thing. Like, that's a new car. Like, usually they'll smell like that. And he's like, well, my mom told me that I should bring it in. I was just like, are you gonna listen to
is this guy younger or older or what?
He was a middle-aged guy.
Okay, so here's the deal, man. I've never bought a new car. I'd never known that. I've never
Really?
No, I never knew that. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? You could be like my buddy Zach. He went to high school with us. His parents bought him like a newer-ish Forester, like a 2014. We were in high school or something, and like literally 2 days like later, like he's on his way back from school and the motor blows up because the Subaru dealership didn't put any oil in it. Like there was no oil in the motor. Like there was like a minuscule amount of oil. And then get this, he brings it back. They put a new engine in it. free of charge, obviously, blah, blah, blah. That one blows up like a week later from some other issue. And like Subarus, man, they're really not that bad. They're known for blowing up. Some of like the older, like there's certain model years that had gasket problems, whatever. But like when he told me that, I'm like, what are you going to do now? And he's like, oh yeah, we brought it back and my parents made me get a Silverado. And I'm like, oh, boo-hoo. They bought you a new car. You got a truck, man. I would have killed for that. Like in high school, I would have been balling. I was driving a Ford Taurus wagon in 03. It looked like it looked like an almond, dude. It was brown. It was terrible.
I'm driving a 99 Buick, but how'd you resolve that smell issue? You give him one of those like trees and like, here, put it in your car and you get out of here. I don't know what you want from me. Might have to bleep that one out, Paul.
It's
I'm
all
sorry
good.
about that.
It's the worst vehicle I ever had. It was a 99 Chevy S10.
Really?
And the four-wheel drive never worked on it. So it was a front-wheel drive car, or it basically was a car, but
yeah.
I got in an accident to where I slid off the road and hit a stop sign, so my whole driver's side door was just caved in. So my dad, he's always been like a garage mechanic his entire life.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, I'll get a door to put on there for you," and it was the right door, but it never closed fully, and it was just like the primer color. He never. So I'm just driving senior year in high school to that. It's just an absolute piece of crap.
Hey man, in high school though, you got wheels. Right, that was the main thing, you know.
Flex, man. Yeah.
I had a 96 S10 for some time.
Did you?
Yeah. So funny story. I don't know if I've told this on the show. Maybe I have. My dad bought it from an estate sale. The older guy had passed away, and you could tell the front end had been rebuilt because I guess the guy hit a deer, right? So my dad got it for like dirt cheap, like under $5,000 or something. That had like 90,000 miles on it, and it was a 96. And this was like 5-6 years ago. Brings it home. My mom is livid that he bought this truck because he like didn't need it. My mom was so mad at him for weeks. Told him to sell it. Told him to get rid of it. And at the time, I was just wanting to get the Tiburon. I was wanting to get rid of the Hyundai Tiburon. I had one of those little tiny coupe cars I thought was so cool. So I think I sold that to my little brother for cheap, and then I bought the S10 from my dad. And like as soon as it had those horrible, like, because it was an old man's truck, had those horrible like side steps, like the steel ones all the way across the whole thing. So I immediately, like right when I got a Sawzall and cut those off because they were just rusted to crap, dude. And then it actually kind of looked like a nice truck. Like other than that, maybe it had like a couple dings on the bed, but it really wasn't too bad. Like it was like pretty nice looking. It had a tonneau cover, and the entire bed was plastic. I had like one of those plastic liners in it, so it was pretty nice shape. Other than like the front end, you could tell wasn't the original grill, but that truck, dude, I actually loved that thing. It needed a new muffler because it was so clogged. Like it sounded like garbage. Like I was just gonna straight pipe it if I kept it. The reason why I got rid of it though, man, is like I quit doing the job I had currently, went to delivering pizzas, and that thing literally got like 8 miles to the gallon. It was the 3-liter V6. It was awful. It was horrible. I would start an 8-hour shift at Papa John's, right? Get in the truck, full tank, get done in the evening, and I'd have literally under a quarter tank left of gas. So like nearly half of my tips, if not more, depending on if I had a good night or not, or sometimes I'd just break even simply because of gas. I was like, this thing has to go. So I literally didn't have it like more than 6 months.
Dude, is that the blue one, right?
Yeah, the blue one. That truck was sick, dude. I like that truck.
Mm-hmm. My S10 had a tonneau cover, and once you hit 50 miles an hour, you know the old Velcro ones? The tonneau cover would pop up and just fly like a kite, and I'd have to pull it.
Dang. Oh, okay. I never had that problem, but damn. No, dude, the thing I loved about that truck is it had new tires on it, but they were like the most summer ass tires you could think of. Like no, like it had nice tread, but it was like no traction, you know, like you could tell like on a winter tire, at least in all season, it's got some more ripples in it. This is literally like a lined tire, and I'm just like, whatever. And I was delivering for Papa John's with this massive snowstorm, and I had to go down into this cul-de-sac, and there was like literally 3 feet of snow. And I was like, man, I never put this thing in 4-wheel drive. And I put it in 4-wheel drive, dude. And that's probably the most fun I've had in a car because it was summer tires. So like I was moving, but I was literally like drifting into the cul-de-sac. So here I am with the Papa John's topper on. And I'm like, woo, like whipping shitties like in this cul-de-sac, dude. It was so fun. I don't know. I really miss that truck. I have heard, though, track record as far as reliability, so I didn't own mine very long. Garbage. They did not hold up. There's like, you're always fixing something. Like, I think at most I did was spark plug wires and a new battery, and that's about as far as I ever went on it. But I don't know, decent truck.
I definitely know driving on bald tires because I'm doing it right now. So yeah, and front wheel drive, all the, a lot of sliding. It's fun though. I mean, it's an experience. You're a better driver because of it. At least I like to think so.
What's your best sling and zaw story, Paul?
Oh,
delivering any crackheads or something like that?
No, dude.
Sketchy neighborhoods.
Okay, I didn't even tell my girlfriend this, and I was dating her at the time. I think I was at Papa John's, or maybe it was Herbert's and Gerbert's. I can't remember. I show up to like this rich cul-de-sac houses. I can't remember. It's one of the cul-de-sacs up behind the mall where you got like a lot of rich suburb people. And I go to the door, and this was like a lot of pies, man. It was like 7 pies, like largest ones, like they're all specialty pizzas, so it isn't no one topping. These people balled out, okay? And I knew that going to this neighborhood. I'm like, ooh, good tip. It was like 4 2-liters, a bunch of sides, and it's like a super, super nice house. Like the classic like cathedral looking like pillars and stuff like on the entrance, and like a super nice big like triple garage and stuff like that. I go to the door, man. I knock. No one answers. And you could obviously tell I could hear people inside. It sounds like a party. I knock again. Dude, I had like walked into what I think was a swinger party, and some old lady answers the door, dude. Cougar-like, attractive in her later years, but attractive. Yeah. I was but a young boy. I wasn't gonna say no.
Plus 60?
But but no, not plus 6, like 50s maybe at the most. But 50, maybe 60s, aging well at 60. But anyways, she answers the door. She's got a glass of wine, and I'm just like, oh hey, how's it going? She's obviously like slosh. She's just like, oh, cute pizza boy, like blah 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 blah. And she literally gives me like $100 cash tip, like just $100 bill for bringing the pizza. So I'm like, whoa, and I'm like, what's going on? You guys having a party or something? It was like almost like some weird twangy music was gonna play, and it was like a porno, and it's like, I got an extra large sausage pizza, ma'am, and it's like right here or something, and she's like, oh, like you got many deliveries to make? I'm like, yeah, I got a couple after this. She's like, oh, like you should really stay and hang out, and like, I'm a good person. Like I wasn't gonna cheat on my girlfriend, that I love very much, and so like obviously I was like, oh, thank you, ma'am, appreciate the offer. If it was if it was 6 months ago, maybe, and I just like, I would have quit. I might have quit my job, and but no, like I literally like looked by, like past her in there, and it was just all like older lady. I didn't even see one guy, and I'm like, oh man, I would have gotten torn apart in there. Like,
oh my god.
And yeah, no, but it was so funny. I got the nice tip, and I was like all giddy the rest of the shift. Like I kind of skipped back to the car, and I'm like, damn, but that was sick. I got $100 tip. But that was probably the craziest like pizza delivery story. I think, or maybe, yeah, it was pizza for sure. I think it was Papa John's. But yeah, man, I can't really think of any more other than there was this one guy that just like straight up refused to pay me. And I was like, well, I can't give you these. And then he's calling the cops on me because I refused to give him pizzas he wouldn't pay for. Because he literally was handing me like a $100 bill. And I'm like, like we usually say on the phone, like we don't carry change more than the 20. And I didn't. And he's like, well, that's garbage. And I could obviously tell it, this guy, not to generalize, he was totally a drug dealer. I was like, well, you got like a credit card? I could like call the store, and I could just, we could tell them your numbers, and they could just run it back at the store. We'll be all good. And he was just like, nah, man, I don't do banks. And I'm like, can't really help you then, man, if you got nothing smaller than 100. He literally calls the police on me, and the operator, I could hear, like literally just like hangs up on him because he's just being erratic. And then he just straight up, like, I was young at the time, straight up just takes the pizzas out of my hand and slams the door, like before I could even react. And then I was just like, I just called my boss. I'm like, hey, this happened. I'm coming back to the store. Whatever. Like, it is what it is. Like, I wasn't going to try to pound on the dude's door to get pizzas back. Like,
I feel like he was probably a drug user, not a dealer, because I don't know many drug dealers, but I'm pretty sure they don't want to call the cops at any point.
That is fair. That's fair. I didn't even think of that. But no, like, I don't know, man. He was off. I don't think he was on drugs, but like he was super suspicious about his money. And like when he pulled out, it was like a band, dude. It was a band of hundreds. It was like that big, dude. I was like,
it's all bloody.
It's all bloody. Yeah. His mob money or something.
Yeah, mob money. Yeah, I had to do my collections earlier this evening. All I got is hundreds.
Jake, I'll do you one better. Do you got any pizza delivery stories you've been itching to tell?
I have a couple. Um, again, I was right in between graduating and college, and right in between there, and I delivered like 2 pizzas to a hotel in town.
Yeah.
And I didn't put 2 and 2 together, and we'll get to that. But she answers the door in like pajamas that are see through, and she was just like, "Do you have time to help me eat it?" And I'm like, "No, I have a bunch in my car. I still got to drive around." And she's like, "Oh, that's a shame." And then you know how like you always had your receipt if they paid with a card.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they kept... I looked on the receipt when I was walking back to my car, and it was 2 extra large sausage pizzas. So that one was hilarious.
Yeah, you knew what was going on.
Yeah, you know it's going
I
down.
was like 18, so I was just oblivious, and again, like cue Pornhub music on that one.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah.
Pizza man, so you got a camera set up as soon as you walk in.
There's a camera over there. There's a camera over there.
Yeah.
And then the only other one I delivered to, it was obviously a tweaker or something, because I knocked on the door, and dude said he never ordered anything, and he flashed his 9 at me and told me to get the hell out of his doorway, and so I ran back to the car.
Okay, sir. You take the pizzas. You just immediately turn around.
The food, he didn't even give me cash. I just booked. I'm like, okay.
I'm out of here.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's a quick way to get free pizza.
Yeah, here's a quick, easy tip to get pizza. No, you do one better. You open the box and pull out your own 9. What you just say to me, fool?
What did you say to me about?
It's just a shootout on the porch.
Yeah, oh my god.
Pizza's wild, dude. You see a lot of weird and different.
You literally are introduced to like all walks of life.
Yes.
Also depending on where you deliver, but like I've delivered in a few different like stores, areas, and like it's something else, man. Like it's funny. I used to deliver in the Superior, Herberts, and Gerberts for a while. I'd go over and cover shifts over there sometimes, and like it wasn't that bad, and people tipped well in Superior, which was like I found like kind of interesting, because people think of it of like lower class, like over there, whatever, like the whole Duluth stigma. But there, honestly, I had better luck in Superior than I did ever in the Duluth area. But yo, man, you meet people from all walks of life. I don't know if I ever told this story, just because we're talking about delivering things. So whenever, so I would get stiffed. I'm sure you've dealt with this. You'd get stiffed actually, like more than you would think. A pizza guy gets stiffed, like
$50, $75 orders, especially.
Yeah, like just no tip. Especially you get those ones to a school and they're like tax. They can't do tax, so they just don't tip you or anything. And it's just like, it's garbage. So when I would get pissed, dude, I wouldn't, this was honestly so bad now that I look back at it. I think I told you about this, Jack. I would, if available, you know how like people like got those like walk-in like double door things with like a porch, they put their shoes and stuff. If I got stiffed and the guy was just rude to me, I would take one of his shoes, not just a pair, but I'd just take one of his shoes and I put it in the trunk of my Subaru. Okay. And you know what? Sue me. You'll never find those shoes. Good luck investigating me and tying me back to this. But I also will say this. By the time I was done at Papa John's, my trunk was filled with random people's shoes. I literally had like 50 plus shoes that I had stolen, and not pairs, just one single shoe. I wouldn't just take a pair. I would ruin your day. I would make sure one goes missing. So you're like, what? Yeah,
I'd wonder about it for years.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like, not everybody had a house like that or had shoes readily available there, right? So, you know, like, might take an umbrella if it's sitting there in the thing, or, you know, like, and so, like, I literally just mainly shoes, just had a trunk full of random people's garbage. I burned it all up at our cabin, but good luck finding that. But
you were like,
I was
Joey
so
Diaz.
pessimistic, dude. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, you're gonna stiff me, slam the door on me, you're gonna be a dick. All right, well, say goodbye to your size 11 Nike then, dickhead. You know,
that's how you like gaslight people for years, Paul. Like Joey Diaz talks about doing that when he would rob people. He would just like, I take all their money, but also take one shoe. They wonder about it for years. They never know. Yeah, dude, he used to do that. That was his thing. He's like, it breaks someone psychologically. They'll always wonder, you know, Where'd that shoe
I never
go?
thought about it that way. No, I may be exaggerating a bit. I did take quite a few shoes, but like I'm not talking a trunk full. I maybe had like 20, 25, maybe a few umbrellas. I think I had someone's beach ball, a volleyball in my trunk, like just like whatever was very low value, but also just be like, where'd this go? Like, why is this gone? I never stole anything of high value or anything like that. But no, teach them a lesson, If they would have come and tipped me after that, like if they would have called the store and be like, "Oh, I forgot to tip," because that happens sometimes. I've had that happen. I forgot to tip the delivery guy. Can you add the tip onto the order? Sure. I would have driven back and put that shoe back. Okay. I would have like come back after hours and just like slipped it in front of their door or something. Yeah, and just like knock and run away. Yeah, but that never happens. So yeah, I'm a piece of garbage.
You got a lot of shoes.
I don't do that anymore though.
That explains why our fire pit looked like people getting put into Auschwitz. They got all those shoes there.
God.
It's like that's why.
That's brutal, horrible, man.
It's
I didn't even think about it that way.
It's a comparison I have in my head, and it was just like, it's kind of like that. They burned them, they got rid of them.
That is fucking god awful, man. That's pretty horrible.
Bad. That's terrible. I do not condone the actions of Nazis.
Well, it's a good segue into Nazi zombies, I guess. So let's talk about Nazi zombies.
That works really good. That looks really well.
Because this is a topic Jake wanted to talk about. Jake, why don't you tell us about your Call of Duty Nazi Zombies experience, what you think of the whole genre, or I guess mini game, if you would call it.
Well, when it started on Black Ops 1, I grew up on Kino and playing 5 if Kino got boring or whatever, and I loved it. That's what I predominantly played, mainly Kino. And Black Ops 2, Transit, I liked Transit. Not a lot of people did, but when you had a squad of 4 boys and you were just playing
it's not
Transit,
a bad map.
Nothing beat that.
Yeah.
And Town was decent to play if you were split screening with a buddy at a sleepover or something.
Yeah.
But as the games aged, the maps got way too difficult and intricate, and it's just, for me, Kino all time. The simplicity of it was phenomenal for me.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I think their problem was they were like, what other cool features or things could we add on to make it more interesting? When really what they should have focused on is better map designs and just keeping the core mechanics they had. Opening doors, pack-a-punching weapons, getting at max 5 perks. Like none of this gobblegum garbage, that Jack was talking about.
Building parts. Like I think at the beginning of Transit, you literally have to build a machine to open the first door, else you have to pay because you have that like weird thing with the fan that blows the door. It's like what the hell? What is that? Or even turning on the power became so difficult because you'd have to find like 6 parts and you have no idea where they are. Those are good times though. I love Transit. Kino, holds up real well. Yeah, looking great memories on that map.
Yeah, but I do agree with you. I think the simplicity is better. When you start, the thing is like when you start adding things like that too, it starts making it difficult for the more casual gamers such as us, the guys that just like hop on and play. When you start introducing those like stories in zombies, there's like certain things tasks you have to do in an order to get this thing to work, then it's like hard for people that just like maybe have once a week, if that, to sit down and like play a video game or something for like an hour,
Exactly.
But yeah, totally agree, man.
Then they.
What's your favorite? Is your favorite zombies map Kino then? Is that your favorite zombies map?
% just because you get the ray gun for your main gun, and then you strike gold and get the thunder gun too. You pack a punch them both, and it's just like you run those trains on the stage, right?
Yeah.
Just, there's like 200 zombies. Let me get this thunder gun.
Yeah. It's a great time.
Yeah. There's some even good modern zombies too. More recently, I think my favorite zombies, I'm gonna be real, comes from Infinite Warfare. And Infinite Warfare in and of itself was a garbage Call of Duty. But if you haven't played that zombies, it's definitely worth a shot. Because me and my buddy bought the game and we literally had maybe 20 minutes in multiplayer online, but we had thousands, hundreds of hours in zombies. It's all we would play. They had zombies in Spaceland. They had it narrated by David Hasselhoff, so it was really cool. And it was like a 80s themed, but you were like in a like amusement park. But man, that zombies was fantastic, like incredibly well done. And I always get hated on because they're like Infinite Warfare zombies. No one wants to play that. It's like you're wrong. You got to at least give it a shot because that is a fantastic zombies. I think that's my favorite for sure.
Have any of you guys played the new Modern Warfare 2? Does it have Spec Ops, like anything like that? Did anybody purchase that?
No,
that's what I miss, man. Do you remember you could do those co-op Spec Ops missions in like Modern Warfare 2? Or I don't know. Yeah, in Modern Warfare 3 as well.
And 3 too, yeah.
Those were awesome. They were like basically segments of like the the story. Like they take a map from the story, and then like there'd be some like objective you had to do. And those Juggernaut ones were impossible on like the favela, where there's like you have to eliminate like 24 Juggernauts or something. It was just insane. Yeah. I think it was waves, maybe.
Yeah, like those, all of them were hard. I don't remember a single one being easy. They're so difficult. Those are fun.
My favorite one to do on veteran was the ghillie suit one. We had to like take the dude out of the church tower and stuff. Like those, that was fun with a buddy. I wish I did more of that co-op stuff, man. But I'm sure like obviously multiplayer games are just more marketable now, so there's a lot less couch games. Like split screen couch games, which sucks. But then you're gonna get that person that's gonna comment and be like, well, get a Switch. I mean, like, I have a Switch. There are good couch games on it. Maybe I'm just getting old. It's also just like hard to get people to come over and be like, hey man, you want to have a few beers, get some wings, and play some War Groove or like Smash Bros or something, dude.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. I don't know. We're old. We like to watch stuff now. That's what I prefer to do now, anyways.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to play it. Yeah. That happened to me recently with this new game, Atomic Heart. Because Atomic Heart was teased, I want to say...
Is it out now?
Yeah, it's out now. I want to say that game was teased back in 2018, I swear to God. And I'm like, this game's awesome. It's never coming out, though. It's like, there's no way this game's coming out. And lo and behold, 5 years later, it comes out, and I don't even want to play it. I just want to watch someone else play it. Because like, I don't care enough to want to download it and buy it. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it is part of getting old. We're just like, yeah, whatever, you know? Like, it sucks because that like passion for games is like really dwindled in me the last couple of years. But I suppose it's good because there's probably better things to be doing than playing games all day.
I think it also comes in waves too, man. Like when I was in college for that 2 years, so I went to college when I was 20 to 22. So I didn't go right out of high school. And like that 2 year span, I worked full time and I went to school full time. Like I was literally study. I had time to eat, maybe, you know, like, and, you know, like, and stuff like that. I literally really didn't play games for like 2 years straight. And then once I got out of school, I was like addicted again. It was like a new, like, withdrawal. Like, you want to play some Minecraft, man? Maybe start a new world or something, you know? Like, you know, let's do a modded Minecraft. You want to play some Fallout, you know? Like,
come on, help me, man. I'm fixing, man.
Yeah, I'm fixing. Come on, man. You got Nintendo in there? Come on. Yeah, so that was cool. But now that I'm like, got like somewhat of a career going, we do the cast. Like, I'm working out now, I'm boxing, I'm doing all this other stuff. Like, it's just like, I don't have time, really. I'm so tired, like, when I come home from work or after working out. It's just like, the last thing I really want to do is, like, invest time in a video game. Plus, too, man, wanna know what sucks? I used to be able to go to bed at, like, 11 o'clock or midnight and wake up at, like, 6, 7 and go to work. I cannot do that anymore.
I can do that.
I have no energy, man. I can't do that. Like, I literally have been lately, it's like, oh, man, it's 8. You know, like it's time to, you know, like go to bed by about 9, you know, start getting ready for bed. So that sucks. I miss it though. And I think honestly, the most excited I've been about a game. The last time I was excited about a game was Halo Infinite. And I played that for quite a bit when it came out. It's not really good anymore. They updates and they didn't really stay with it.
We should run back the campaign co-op sometime though, because me and Glenn played it on Legendary and we finished it in like 2 days. It was so easy.
Yeah, we should try that. I mean, I'm excited for Sons of the Forest. This is the most excited I've been to play a game, and I think it's mainly because also we're going to be streaming, so that's going to be cool to kind of get into, like live streaming. Cool. No one's going to watch us, but it'll still be fun. Everybody that's watching the cast now, it'll be Saturday. We played Sons of the Forest yesterday evening, but I will be hopefully off and on streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook throughout the weekend across all 3 platforms. Probably some random games. I think Fallout, maybe Heavy Rain. I don't know, something.
Yeah.
Just go, the link tree's in the bottom there. Just go check it out and just go to one of our pages there and maybe you'll see me streaming. Eventually we'll get like a good streaming schedule going maybe where we're just like once or twice a week we do it. But
our dad even, my computer froze for some reason. Is Paul frozen? Let's see here. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Probably not. Something's wrong.
Something's
definitely wrong.
Technical difficulties.
I don't know if y'all can hear me. So
we can hear you. Go ahead and restart.
Out of the Discord.
Do what you gotta do.
Everything's frozen right now.
Do what you gotta do.
What's happening?
How about now? Yeah.
Oh,
It's okay. That happens.
Sorry about that. Everything froze
It's
for
all
me.
good. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Oh,
us?
am I back? Am I here? Am I
Yeah.
live? Can you hear me? All right.
good.
Okay, I didn't know if y'all can hear me. My whole computer froze. Awesome. Sick. No, I know one viewer though. Our dad has been asking about when you guys stream in that game, and like consistently last day. So I'm like, don't worry, we got you. 7 p.m. So I'm slightly excited for him to watch us play it, and I don't know why. I just am. I think it'll be funny. Maybe he'll
Yeah.
comment. Yeah, it'd be cool though.
One thing I'm noticing, Jack, for some reason, whenever I talk, it completely cuts you off.
Does it?
Yeah, so we'll just try not to step over each other a whole bit. I don't know why that started happening, but
yeah.
Anyways,
Podcast happenings.
Yeah, well, we were talking about live streaming. What were we?
Yeah, I don't even know. Hey, before we go into another topic, let me wrap up what I was gonna do about my teeth, real quick.
Okay, wisdom teeth.
So
That's right.
I got my wisdom teeth out, and that was quite an experience. Everyone told me that it was gonna be like the worst thing ever, or like at least be slightly painful. I'm gonna be real. My pain level on the entire thing was like a solid 3 out of 10, which I think is really really good. And the one thing I was really worried about was getting out of the operating room off the drugs and saying some like stupid shit, because there's always videos of people saying like dumb shit, and now I can swear. Thank you, YouTube. But like I was good, and honestly, I actually remember a nurse saying, "You're really coherent for how many drugs you just gave you," and I'm like, sick. But there is a video of me in like the waiting room where like before they could even let me leave the building, where I'm just playing Mob Deep, like some of like hard gangster murder rap, like loud as fuck. And then in the video, I can hear the dentist be like, "What's that music coming from?" And it's just me like sitting there like bumping to it. They're like, "I'm gonna kill a hoe," all this stuff. I thought it was so funny, dude. Hilarious. But no, it was really great. Honestly, a really good experience. I thought it was gonna be much worse than it was. And I actually got to keep my teeth, which is nice. So I do bear them around my neck now because I'm somewhat of a savant here. I keep my teeth on me.
Dude, that necklace.
I keep my teeth strapped.
That necklace probably stinks. Are those actually your wisdom teeth?
I let them know that I'm tougher than them. I wear them around my neck. I beat you, teeth. What do you think about that? They got nothing to say.
Shit, right?
That is foul. That is absolutely foul.
They smell great. All right, it's a sign of respect.
No, it is not.
Respect the teeth.
If you walk around in public with human teeth around your neck, there's gonna be problems.
They would be feared. It's like an Inglorious Bastards. I'm gonna wear scalps around my belt. Just savage. I don't care. But the thing about getting wisdom teeth out that I never realized is everybody's a doctor when it comes to getting wisdom teeth out, because I've had so many goddamn people tell me different things. They're like, "Well, I smoked the second day. Well, my doctor told me not to do mouth rinses. My doctor told me not to spit." And I'm like, I'm going to listen to my doctor, all right? I don't know what butchers some of my coworkers went to, but one of them literally told me, they're like, "Yeah, my doctor didn't tell me to rinse out my mouth and I got an infection." I'm like, where did you go? Like how bad could that dentist be? I thought they were all on the same page of rinse your mouth out, But
they're also supposed to give you literature, at least, teeth care.
Pamphlet. Hey, do this, I followed all the steps, but I was just like, cool. I mean, I don't need your opinion. Like, I'm gonna do what I want. But it's funny because I'm so incredibly worried about dry sockets. I haven't smoked in 9 days. It's kind of different for me. Weed, I don't really care about. It's just the nicotine that I want. Reason I don't want to get dry socket is I looked up some videos and I saw a grown man like weeping and crying because he had it, and I'm like, I don't want to even try to get that. It's not worth it. But yeah, like the dry socket, I'm not about it. Thankfully, I don't think I got it. And I'm well past that point. I'm gonna give it another week. My doctor told me specifically, he's like, wait 3 days and then you could smoke. But on the pamphlet he gave me, it says wait a week. So I'm gonna meet him halfway and go 2 weeks. So I'll be fine and I'll be all right, But that
now that you've gone 9 days without hitting a vape or whatever, just don't.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like there's no reason to now. I might as well. Exactly. Kick that shit because it's not good for you. Maybe we'll start smoking cigarettes. I'm just kidding. No. But my buddy, he said he smoked the day of the surgery and to get dry socket. And I'm like, why would you do that, man? It's not even worth it. But yeah, no, it's make a very fair point. Might as well just not even pick it back up because I'm already off of it. But yeah, that's my wisdom teeth removal story. Overall, went pretty well. I thought it was gonna be worse.
Jake, have you gotten yours removed? Did you have any?
Yeah, I if my sister would have posted my video, I would have went around Facebook or whatever site a few times. I was sobbing, crying when I got done, and I was just hugging the nurse, telling her how beautiful she was. And my sister was fine because we got them done the same day. So they're like getting me into the car. We stop at a Dairy Queen on the way home to like help my teeth or whatever, and I got a chocolate malt. And I was so numb. My sister has a video of me like spooning my malt and just slapping the spoon on my face. And then I just the only thing I remember after it happened was waking up in my bed with just bloody gauze in my mouth. And it was
It's horrible.
It's the worst part.
Did you have to get all 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Same here.
Yeah, I was 16, I think.
We have yet to evolve.
Right. Well, well, the thing about that is, if our mouths were bigger, and we chewed a lot more, you wouldn't have to get them removed. Way back when, you didn't need to get wisdom teeth.
They were used to like tear meat or something, like raw meat or something. Like,
I want to say before the Industrial Revolution, where everything became more processed and soy and grains were a bigger part of our diet, we would chew like an average of like 2 hours a day versus like now you probably chew like 20 minutes a day because they're not, ripping animals apart and chewing them, and it takes so long to swallow a piece. But yeah, it sucks. It's overall not a good thing.
What if we were all cavemen, what would be your job in the pack? Would you be a hunter-gatherer? Would you be the guy that's making weapons, sharpening weapons?
Good question. What would you be doing?
I would probably be I'd be a hunter-gatherer probably. Actually I'd probably be a warrior, just rock people. Other tribes.
Yeah, just rock people. Yeah, something like that. I think I'd be the bugler. And this is I'm going way forward now in the Civil War. I think I'd just be the bugler.
You'd be a guy that plays a piccolo or something on the front line.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be that guy. A bone flute, if you will.
A bone flute.
Yeah.
Be the one who like builds stuff.
Like puts together walls and like whatever else.
An architect.
Or like gathered stuff. Hunter, gatherer, and just builder.
Yeah, man. Simpler times. Obviously, you'd be lucky to live to like 20, but like, it was because everybody's getting diseases.
Got a splinter. I'm dead.
Yeah. Well, see you guys later. Yeah.
Scary times, man.
I couldn't imagine being a warrior because back then you're just getting stabbed with a rock. And like, I'll pass.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, do you think you could fight your ancestors 100 years ago? Nope, they'd wipe the floor with you.
I'm gonna
just demolish.
I'm gonna be real, man, and I'm probably wrong from a historical standpoint, but probably the most brutal like wars, other than like that hand-to-hand or medieval stuff for sure, is just like the civil when we only had like muskets and flintlock pistols and bayonets. We're like literally like getting shot by one of those most of the time would not kill you. It would just be an agonizing death until someone came and finished you off. Like you're just getting like your arm blown off by a musket, or getting hit in the legs with a cannonball, and you're just like crawling around, and like just like up close and bayoneting somebody. Like it's just brutal. Or like you shoot them and then bayonet them like as you're shooting them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, dude. They literally line up like 100 deep and just all shoot, and then like you got to take 20 minutes to reload the goddamn gun. It takes so long.
You know what? I get the whole war etiquette thing. I would have not been standing in that damn line. I mean, like, guys, how about we like take cover? Like, like,
why are we
how about Piccolo guy also gets a gun?
Yeah.
And the guy with the flag, get him out of here. Send him back to the nurses station. He can help the nurses. All right. Yeah. We need guys with guns up here, and we need people to take cover. Has anybody heard of going prone? How about
Exactly. Honestly. But like I don't know, I'd rather fight there than like World War I don't know why, just because of the mustard gas and all the new technologies that came out during that time. I feel like that'd probably be the move over that. Maybe a little more protection. They actually gave you helmets instead of a ball cap like you got on, Paul and Jay. That's all you got is a helmet. Here you go. Go out. Go fight, man. don't get hit by shrapnel. If you do,
You're
it's on you,
done.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
The Civil War, like, and all the medics' answers for everything is, we'll just hack off his arm, that'll heal up.
Yeah.
And then they're like, the bloody rags they're putting in water is just other people's blood, and you're getting like Hep C and whatever else. You're like, you're like convulsing, like somebody's blood type doesn't mix with yours.
During that time, there wasn't really any type of morphine. I mean, maybe there was, but it really wasn't something that was like readily available, I feel like. So you were dealing with that pain.
Pulls of this.
When was morphine? 1898. Yeah, so
they might have had it later in the war, maybe. I don't know, but
well, when was World War I? I'm so bad with my history.
1907, right? Something like that. Maybe a little
yeah,
later,
1914 and 1918. So they would have had morphine, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I for some reason I thought the Nazis invented morphine, but I'm thinking of ibuprofen. That's who I'm thinking of. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, dude, wars are scary. And speaking of wars, like, I don't think we're gonna escalate to something with Russia. But China has been suspect lately, and I don't know if that's just the media or what's going on. I just do know this. I think they really do want to invade Taiwan, and Russia invading Ukraine makes it like, oh, I could just do this. But I don't know, man. I mean, I've talked about it with multiple guests of the show. We brought this up multiple times, but like, at first I was like against giving Ukraine money, and now I'm like, damn, once I saw how much money we're actually giving them, it's not that much compared to our military spending. I'm like, damn, we're just fighting a war with other people that like are literally like, because Putin's plan was like, if he rolled over Ukraine, it would be to go into Poland. It would be to go into all these other countries, they think, Poland. Right?
Well, he wanted to reestablish the old Soviet
Exactly.
Union.
Terrible stuff.
It's not, I don't know, man. I totally get the argument of like, it's too much money. We're giving them, but again, it's not really even money. A lot of it too is just like stuff we just had sitting around. Like we just had all these tanks that are just collecting dust that maybe we use on military drills time to time. Give them a few tanks because they're literally like fighting a world superpower that we don't have troops in. You know, like not troops that like drafted, whatever, right? I'm sure there's like volunteer troops and all that stuff over there. I don't know. What's your take on it, Jake? Like, what do you think about this whole like conflict over there? You're just like, meh, or what?
Well, Putin is just such a wild card.
He is.
I mean, if I just on Rogan or something, he had someone on and he took a bunch of propaganda pictures with like a bunch of different people in organizations, and it was the same 8 people in all of the photographs. They were just in different uniforms. And it's
what the heck?
Yeah, but I don't know, Ukraine, I thought it was gonna be over by winter.
Me too, yeah.
Thought Putin was waiting to starve Zelensky out until the winter.
Yeah.
To where infrastructure just dwindled enough to end it, but you got to give it to those Ukraine people because
they're fighting.
Fighting, man.
Yeah, dude, they're in the trenches with like AKs, like Rust with like a shovel for a stock. You know, it's like put together. Like,
all I'm saying, I feel like we're steamrolling them, kind of.
It's hard to say with the media, right? It's hard. I just don't know what to believe because like the media is so hard to trust no matter where you get it from. The way I see it is like sometimes Ukraine's taking back stuff and sometimes Russia's pushing the front. I feel like it's literally just almost like at a crossroads where like it's literally just back, forth. Like I don't know if Russia's made too much progress lately, but I also don't think Ukraine has done a ton either than taking back that one big city they did lately. But still, like, what's getting a city back when it's been bombarded with missiles for like 3 months straight?
Yeah, exactly. And I work at a Target, so I deal with customers on a daily basis, and you should be surprised at how many Ukrainian refugees like actually come through Minnesota. Like some of them I can't understand what they're saying half the time, but I'm like, this guy's either from Ukraine or Russia or something. But like sometimes I ask him like, where are you from? Like, oh, we're refugees from Ukraine. I'm like, damn, dude, that's brutal. You have to just like, I mean, just imagine that, guys. Like you have to move like cross country because you're like
start over.
Like your entire home's destroyed. You know, scary thought, man. It sucks.
The people that are fighting in Ukraine, that's just like if us 3 put on a rifle and went out and started plinking off at Russians. Like it's
exactly
just the Joe 6-packs of
dude.
And that's probably why they're still in it, right?
Yeah.
it's their home and they're gonna die for it.
And honestly,
Yeah, damn right.
Zelensky, as much of a leader as he's been, and a lot of people crap on him, I honestly think he's doing pretty well. I mean, he's getting people to stay and fight. That's the biggest thing. If no one stays and fight, he's done. Like, he's really like kind of united them, I think. And there are still, I mean, obviously battles going on every day, like right now over there, and it's just literally constant. There's shellings all the time. Like, and I hate the whole like, Putin's like, we're not targeting these civilian facilities, and they're literally targeting civilian, like they're blowing up orphanages and stuff, and like where like women are delivering babies and stuff, and it's just like, come on, man. Like, you can't hide it forever. Like, we're gonna find out. I don't know. All I know is like, I guess I don't know. I don't know anything. Like, I really don't know what's going to happen. If it turns into some Red Dawn shit where, like, I look up outside and there's, like, red smoke coming down and Russian paratroopers dropping in my neighborhood, someone's getting blasted. It ain't going to be me. You know?
Right? Well, that was me with my questions. Like, how do you think it get resolved? Do you think Putin walks away from this without getting killed? Like, I don't know. Like, I always wonder about that. Like, how is it really going to get resolved? Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just be one of those stagnant Cold War things where it lasts for years and years and years. We just keeps going on, which would suck.
I mean, we've already cut him off from a lot of things. And I mean, like, there's no way he's just like, I'm done. And we were just like, okay, you can do business with us again. He's screwed his country for quite a long time, unless his leaders or something, or other people, which there aren't any because they're all fearful of him, like, get him out of there, you know?
Right.
Well, he's the modern day Fidel Castro, right?
Yeah.
Honestly.
I'm just happy he hasn't gone off the deep end to push a red button yet, to be honest. But
scary thought,
I also
man.
feel like he knows that if he does, dude, there's no way he does that, and we also don't immediately obliterate.
Right.
Like Russia's just gone, you know?
Well, most people,
we know where he is at all times.
Yeah.
And if it's a button, we have one going directly to where he is.
Yeah.
Well, most people
too full of himself to be okay with dying for his country.
Yeah.
Honestly, well, most people don't know too. Well, I guess I don't know what you mean by red button. Do you mean like nuke or just missiles or something like that? I mean,
something
if they're
in general, probably
something in
nuke.
general, yeah. Like, but nukes, like, that has to go through like 20 different people because like there's like fail safes.
Here it does.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I've heard it's the same over there. But even if it happened over here, you got to think one of those people are like, nope, not doing it, and you can't tell me to do it, and you know that might slow it down a little bit. But you got to think they're humans too, you know. Maybe like at the end of the day, they don't want, like, it's mutually assured destruction. Everything's going down. If one's going down, we're all going down. You know, we'll go back to the Stone Age.
Man, shucks. I miss the classic wars of just how many more boots and rifles and stuff you had on ground, instead of this, like, you could literally be the best Navy SEAL, whatever, tactical marksman, and you can just get ended by a Predator missile and like that or something, you know? Like, it's scary.
A whole city
or a drone. Yeah.
Terrible, man. It's really creeping up on me more and more lately that can like happen, you know, like they could level a city really quick. I mean, I guess we do have like C-Rams and stuff that'll shoot that down, but still,
I don't know if you've ever seen nuke blows up in the atmosphere is a bad nuke.
You're done, dude. You're toast. I don't know if you've ever seen a C-Ram like shoot down missiles, but that's really cool. Look that up if you haven't seen that before.
I haven't, but I know it's like the weird block thing.
Red, red like things, dude. They're scary, dude. Like they'll just shoot missiles down. It's so cool though. It's gnarly. I think they shoot like 1,000 rounds a second or something like that, which is insane.
That is gnarly. Jake,
oh yeah.
Do you own any firearms?
Just your basic hunting stuff. I hunt in a zone to where it's shotgun only.
Okay.
So I got a nice Remington 870 12 gauge. Got a little 9 to plink off in the summertime. It's always fun for target practice. And
yeah.
I got a used 20 gauge that I just shoot trap with.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I've been kind of like wanting to expand. Like I've wanted to get guns just for whatever reason, just because I don't know, they're cool, and I think like target shooting's really fun. And I did hunt. By hunt, I mean like maybe I go out every other year for a little bit. I'm not like, I don't have the patience, man. I'm too like wired all the time. Because my dad deer hunts and a lot of my older brothers deer hunt and stuff. So I just have like an old hinge crack single shot, like 223. You can switch the barrel out for a 20 gauge. It was like my first gun my dad ever got me. And then I just picked up my second gun ever this last weekend. They gave me a free hat. They gave me a bunch of merch, but I got a Sig Sauer P320 M18. handgun. It's like a Sig Sauer's carry size, so it's that weird like new like where it's like got a full size rail, or no, it's a smaller slide, but it's got like a full size grip module kind of deal, or like almost close to full size. So it's like an in between. And it's the gun currently that's on the military contract. Like I think the Marines carry it. It's like Sig won the contract over Glock. I guess I could show it here on the show, but we'll just do that for another time.
Yeah, honestly,
because I don't want to get it out, but. It's a cool gun. It's got it like it's like a coyote color. It's super cool. I have yet to shoot it, and that's just simply because down here, like I don't know much about the ranges or anything. To be honest with you, I really just want to go to my cabin up north and just shoot it there first. Because I've heard with some guns you can have a break-in period where like you might have a malfunction where like an ejecting out of the cartridge gets stuck in the slide or something like that. And I'd rather have that like happen out in the woods. Where like I'm by myself and there's nobody else around, rather than like it to happen in like a shooting range or something, I guess. But I don't have my CCW yet. I do want to go get it. I just have my permit to purchase. I do plan to go get it maybe this summer, just depending on how things go. But the reason why I bought it first is because I want to be comfortable with it, man. I am not going to go take my CCW class and just like not be comfortable with the handgun that I'm going to be carrying, And because is the main thing I've realized on like the researching I've done, best practices, concealed carry, being safe, whatever, consistency and knowing your firearm, knowing your ammunition, knowing what it's going to do should you ever be in a situation you have to use it, right? Because I don't know. All I do know is like if I ever start carrying, like people say walk around with one in the chamber. I totally get it. When I first start, I am not walking around with one in the chamber. I am not. Like not
worth it.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
you
eventually.
Think about classes at all, just for like shooting, like because I know it's like proper form and stuff.
Yeah, I do want to take like training classes. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I was never really taught proper form how to shoot guns, which I always wonder like what's the proper way. Because like I shot pistols plenty of time, and like I never know like how far your feet are.
Dude, I don't even know how the hands are supposed to go yet. I literally just plan on like looking on YouTube. Like I know how it. But like you could be doing things little things wrong, right? Like people do that all the time because people don't know. It's supposed to be taught. The next thing I want to pick up is a brass 22 Henry rifle, lever action. I just want it for like plinking, like just a 22. I want to get one. They're like $500 at Flea Farm, so I think that's what I'm gonna get next. Just for I don't know, dinging some targets. It just seems fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Maybe eventually an AR. I don't know.
I think you should get an AR.
I kind of people were like, just get an AR. You can do so much more with it. It's like I kind of want a Mini 14. Those are kind of sick.
Be cool.
You can get the tactical Mini 14s now. You can put a sight on it, put a foregrip on it. I mean, just look up Ruger Mini 14 tactical. If you just look up Mini 14, you're gonna get it's.
I like that.
Shoots 5.56 or 2.23, I think, and it's basically an 8. I mean, it shoots the same round. Shoots the same caliber and everything. It's pretty cool. I don't know. Have you seen a Mini 14 before, Jake?
No, I haven't.
It's kind of a stout. They got a ranch style where it literally just looks like a hunting rifle, but you can put like 30-round mags in it. It's semi-auto, like 5. Like that's the thing of the stigma. It's funny about the AR-15. Somebody could go buy a Mini 14 and do the same amount of damage with a Mini 14 as you could with an AR-15. Because the AR-15 is more modular, right? I could go get 30 different triggers for it. 40 different sights, or even more than 40. There's like tons of different options to like trick it out how you want. Where the Mini 14 is more limited. Their ranch style of the Mini 14, which Ruger makes, is literally just like wood everything. You can't really put anything on it. It's like iron sights, whatever. But the tactical style's got like polymer, fold out stock. Like you can put a foregrip on it, you can put a sight on it. And it literally doesn't look like the tactical one looks more aggressive, obviously, than the ranch style wood one. But you can put attachments on it. I just think they're cool. I just think they're a cool gun. I don't know. And then they make a Mini 30, which is 7.62. It's literally just a Mini 14, but 7.62, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
That's gnarly. Yeah, I'm hyped for you to come up to the cabin and shoot it because I want to shoot that gun too. I love shooting guns.
Yeah, man.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, we can do a Gutterball gun day out or something. We'll just film it.
Yeah, I see. That'd be cool. I like that.
Yeah. Do you do much shooting, Jake, outside of hunting season, or do you just like before season kind of just like I don't know, a few months ahead, just kind of go and make sure your guns operate, stuff like that? Because that's usually what I would do.
Yeah, well, for my deer gun, I'll just go to like Fleet Farm and buy the cheapest box of slugs because that's all you shoot with down there is slugs and
yeah.
and I'll run like 2 boxes through, just like a couple at 20 yards, a couple at 30 yards, couple at 45, couple at 55, and that's 55 yards is probably the max shot you're gonna take with a
Yeah.
slug. You're just shooting a hunk of lead, right? So it's just gonna continue to
Drop.
fall and
Yeah.
good rifle shot. But other than that, I'll probably shoot a box of 9mm rounds, just if my cousin has a shooting day up at his farmhouse property, just because it's a huge yard and you don't have to worry about anything being in the area.
Yeah. To shoot those slugs, you need like a rifled barrel, right?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing, is like, I think I have slugs, but I don't have a rifled barrel on that hinge crack. Somebody just like gave them to me, and I'm like, these would fit in it theoretically, but I think it would just be like garbage accuracy, right? Isn't that what happens when you shoot out of a non-rifled barrel with a slug?
In my opinion, because I've shot slugs out of both.
Or is it just gonna explode my barrel? I don't think it. I think it'll shoot it. It's just not gonna be great.
It really depends on how far away you are from your target.
Yeah. Okay.
So like if you're within 30, you'll hit it.
Yeah.
But when you're around like 45, 50 plus, then I mean, say a prayer and pull the trigger.
Yeah, exactly. No, man, it's really too bad the ATF has made sawing things off illegal. Because I could not think of a better one-shot hinge crack gun than that if I were to put the 20 gauge barrel on that and just make it a shorty. Like, that thing would be so sick, but you can't have that. Can't have that.
I mean, you can, just can't get caught with it, Paul.
The ATF is listening to us already. I brought up Sig Sauer about 5 minutes in, and they're already like...
All those memes you'd be sending about taking cops' guns, they're onto you now.
I know.
When I go scroll on Facebook after... get nothing but ads for Sig Sauer and all those.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, I don't even know. I didn't even like walk in to go for a Sig, dude. I walked in planning on buying a CZ P10C, which was like $200 cheaper. But I guess I go into Fleet Farm the day that the Sig Sauer research and development guy is there, and he had literally like, he didn't even talk me into it. I talked myself into it because I went up and the Fleet Farm guy at the counter was also like, just talk to the Sig guy. He'll lay out your options. And I told him about the CZ P10C. He brings it out. He brings out the SIG. And the CZ P10C felt like it looked cool. It was like, cheaper. It was fine. It was like a reliable firearm. They're known for being reliable. It's like the great value Glock in a way. But then I held it. I held the CZ, dude. And I don't like Glocks because of the grip angle. It's more forward, more like at an angle kind of. And I didn't know that CZs were like that. So when I held it, I was like, man, this sucks. And then I held that SIG. There's a couple SIGs I held, and they were more of a narrow, like straight up and down grip angle. Where like more so like you're holding like a bar or something, not like, you know what I'm saying? And so like I held that and I was like, damn, like this feels really nice. And then he sold me that it has a manual safety. Because a lot of those striker fire pistols just don't have a manual safety at all.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
That's weird to me. I didn't know that.
This one, because it's a striker, this one does though. Because the military wanted it. When the military got the contract from SIG, they're like, there needs to be a manual safety on it. They're like, okay, because that's $1 million, billions of dollars of guns would go to the military if they got that. So that's why it has a manual safety. And honestly, I'm okay with that. More safety features, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Do you know why that grip kind of forces the end of the gun down? Because when you pull the trigger, you instinctively it up. So so it's more even.
Yeah. That's what the dude was telling me. Like he was not even trying to sell me on the SIG. He was literally just like, this is what this one does. These are the features this one has. And once I saw it, because he didn't tell me cons of either. He just told me pros of both. And like once I saw it, I was like, man, $200 more, but they're running a deal where I got a gift card in store and blah, blah, blah. And I was just sold on it. I ended up getting it. Plus the modularity of it. Like I can swap out different grip modules that are smaller. I can put it's already screwed in. I can put a red dot sight on it. I can put a flashlight right on the front of it. Because I do plan on putting a flashlight on it, maybe. I don't know about carrying a red dot, bro.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Cool,
like,
though.
freeze, dirtbag!
I could just see you in the store, Paul, being like, I kind of want the CZ, but the SIG comes with a hat. Somebody get the SIG.
No, there wasn't like, I didn't even know I was getting merch. It's just because he was there. It happened to be like, well, you're getting a SIG today. He gives me a hat, gives me a lanyard, gives me like 6 stickers. He offered
yeah.
a shirt, and I was like, I don't need a shirt.
He offered this shirt off his back. Here, take this.
Here, take this. Yeah. It's like that scene in Dirty Work where the dude's like, hey, that's my shirt. And he takes it off, and the dude's hairier than hell.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, keep it. Keep it. Yeah. The dude's like a gorilla.
Yeah. So it's so unrealistic. It's like, who the hell has body hair like that? It looks scary. Forgot about that. Great movie. Norm Macdonald, R.I.P.
R.I.P. indeed. Great comedian. Did you like Norm Macdonald at all, Jake?
Yeah, the morning show I used to listen to a lot when I still had my old job, when I had to be up really early in the morning, would play some of his bits because, some can be pretty raunchy.
Yeah, dude.
I can't remember a specific joke of his, but he's made me more than a couple times.
There's the one.
I always
Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
I always use this joke at work all the time because I work with college kids. I think this is Norm's. He's like, it's just, he has like celebrities read it, but so like he didn't read it off, someone else did. But he's like, a 25-year-old recent doctor college graduate has offered to auction off her virginity, and he's like, for $54,000, you can have the worst sex of your life. And I say that all the time. People think that's fucking great, and it's pretty good.
What's the one about Richard Clock, where the guy that looks at a clock, it makes him so angry that he wants to. I don't even remember.
That one's bad, dude.
It's
that one's
such a
really
bad
long.
joke. Yeah,
it's like very convoluted jokes, dude. They're really good.
That's why he's funny. He had some very convoluted jokes that were just like at the end, you're like, okay, that's actually pretty good. Like,
what is it like?
I wish I could remember it.
Richard Clock was a rapist or something.
Yeah, he's a man that admitted he was a serial rapist or something. Yeah.
Terrible.
Horrible.
He's like, he killed himself. Why would he do that? He's like, really? Why? What do you live in, a cotton candy house? What do you mean, why? I love that.
Who are your guys' favorite comedians?
Currently, or just like of all time, whether they've passed away or not?
Of all time. Like, who's your go-to?
I'm going to go right off and just say Joey Diaz as my top favorite comedian of all time. I've been really into him the last like 5 years of my life. Yeah, I love Joey Diaz. And it's funny when I got into Joey Diaz that he's in so many movies and TV shows that I rewatch them and I'm like, oh, that's from my childhood. Joey Diaz is that character. But yeah, he's also one of like the biggest like turnarounds I've seen like anybody do, like ex-cokehead, robber, kidnapper, become like a really good comedian. I think he's hilarious. I think that'd be my pick.
He's good.
So stand-up for me is like kind of hard to watch. Like, it's just like really not my cup of tea. But if I had to do like scenario, like people in situations like a movie, right? Like movie comedians that are in comedy movies, classic Adam Sandler. Like maybe he has some garbage films, but I like Adam Sandler, dude. Like I think he's funny. He used to be really funny. He still is. Like he has his moments. I just think he's a really talented guy. I think he's funny. But if I had to go with like usually makes me laugh every single time I see him or hear him talk, Trevor Moore, who passed away, that was in The Whitest Kids You Know. Like he actually had a Comedy Central special. He had like a lot of comedic songs. He was in a sketch show, Whitest Kids You Know. Made me laugh like all the time. So I'd say probably Trevor Moore that I can think of. If I had to go for a stand-up comic, either George Carlin, R.I.P., or man, what's his name? Ron White, that old dude that has a cigar and the whiskey, dude. He's pretty.
Yeah, Dad likes him.
I think he's pretty funny.
Yes.
What about you,
What
Jake?
about you, Jake? Yeah.
Mine's probably, I love Larry the Cable Guy, dude. You can't.
He's not bad.
Pretty good. Yeah.
He's quite. I mean, he's really made his own genre almost. Like it's his own brand. Like you hear Larry the Cable Guy, and it's like he's done so much stuff with that bit, in general, like who he is, right?
I got kind of tuned up last summer, and I was listening to him on Spotify out at a fire when everyone else went to bed, and I was just hanging out, and I tried sounding like him, and then I went to my girlfriend the next day and like told her his voice, and she was just like, "You sound just fucking like that guy."
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool, man. Hey,
awesome, yeah.
Another one I just thought of that's good in like movie situation. Jim Carrey, dude, classic.
Yeah, he's funny.
I like Jim Carrey a lot.
Well, I got one more too. Doug Stanhope. Really like Doug Stanhope. Hilarious. Fuck, man, you gotta look up Doug Stanhope if you don't know him. He's like the original, I want to say, comedian that like got famous off of being an alcoholic. And speaking of alcoholic comedians, Bert Kreischer, you're not funny. Sorry to tell you. I don't know who needs to tell you this. Joe Rogan's not gonna. I know that. So I have to be the one to tell you. He is like, for like I don't know. I think you just had to be a certain level of stupid to like kind of enjoy his jokes. And I guess I'm not hating on you if you really do, just in case Jake loves him. I'm like, oh, just shitting on him. Yeah, he doesn't like him. So there you go. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Bert Kreischer.
That was it.
What were you gonna say, Jake? Sorry, you cut out for a sec.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's all good.
He got famous because of the mob story, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
he had a cool story, but I've watched a couple of his Netflix specials and I turn them off 10 minutes in because they're just garbage.
Dude, he laughs at the dumbest stuff too.
Keep his shirt on. I don't want to see that. Keep your damn shirt on. I don't want to see that. Yeah.
I can't do it, man. I hate it.
No, it's like it's same with it goes in the realm of like Andrew Schultz and Pete Davidson. It's like for college drunks that are fucking stupid, like meatheads. Those are the people that like that. I really, really hate Pete Davidson with a passion. Same with Andrew Schultz. I'm not a fan of him either, but you know, they're millionaires, you know, so they're doing better than me, obviously. But
have you guys
not
heard
a fan.
Jay Okerson?
What was his name?
Big J Okerson.
I've
I
not.
don't think I have. No.
He's pretty raunchy. Like he's like really dirty.
Okay.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I've seen that guy.
He does a lot of like crowd work, and he just gets people so uncomfortable, and it's funny.
That's
I love comedians that do crowd work.
dude.
It really
Eric
shows how
Andre's
funny they
Eric
are.
Andre's a great one. I didn't think of. He's
honestly,
hilarious, dude. When it comes
He's
to
got
like,
good crowd work. Yeah.
oh,
he's really
100%.
good.
Dude, I went and saw him live and he
Milk on
whipped
ya.
a McDouble at my face. Like he literally, like, he's on stage and he's like, he comes out after he cuts his desk in half with a katana and he's literally got like a tray of like McDonald's fries and McDoubles and he's just whipping them, and I got hit right in the cheek with a McDouble. I was like, oh, and then I ate it.
That's gross. Imagine he's like, I came in those McDoubles, and you're like, oh. He's going,
dude.
I always wondered, does he say, welcome to the Eric Andre show, and then does he come out? Or
That
is it
the
like that?
speaker thing says it like from the show. Dude,
that's
it was
cool.
literally like the show's set. He comes out and goes all crazy and like destroys his desk and weird stuff happens. Like he had a paintball gun. He was shooting like two of the guys that were like looked like backstage like mic guys, like producers. And they're like, like they're running back behind the stage. And then he's like, he literally like ran towards me, Ryan, and Nick. We were like, where'd he go? He ran like off stage and the music was still playing, going crazy. He comes out down the steps, dumping garbage and smashing beer bottles on his own head, and like runs right by us. And we're just like, oh my God. Like it was really funny. And then Hannibal was there too, and he did the Morpheus. He had the 240s taped to his freaking arms or whatever.
Yeah, you got his poster right there in the back of you.
Oh yeah, the Eric Andre
right on top of your head there. Yeah. Morpheus, Dorpheus, dying in orifices. I don't know what he says. So stupid though. He's got the 40. Yeah.
Go to the buffet and walruses or some shit.
Goes into the coffin.
No, Jake, I don't know if you've seen much Eric Andre. I highly recommend you just go look up like clips of his on YouTube. They have like compilations. They're so funny, dude. His public bits.
That's someone else that really went downhill is Hannibal. I think he did something like really cringy and like he lost a lot of his rep, but
really?
He's been oh yeah, dude. I swear to God, he got drunk one time to try to fight somebody and he lost a lot of his street cred. But I saw him doing like stand up to like it was a very small crowd for what you'd think he'd be playing to. So I was like, damn, bro, like shit. And he wasn't in the most recent season of Eric Andre. So
yeah, he left the show, and I think I've watched it or something. He said it was related to just like how it lined up with work, and that like it just like it either it took a long time or something like that, or like he just wasn't willing to wait or something, because you know, Eric Andre lately, it's like he's dropping a season every couple years, if that. I mean, that last one was supposed to be his last one. He's supposedly doing another one.
Yeah, it's hard to do now. Everyone knows who he is. He's got to do a lot of makeup. I'd immediately recognize. I'd ruin his joke. I'd go up and be like, "Hey, he's filming a skit. Hey, that guy's filming a skit." I'd be an asshole. I don't give a fuck. What is he gonna do? Yeah, I guess it makes sense though.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, I have a really funny story from work that an IT guy at work reminded me of the other day. So like when I started working at this place, I was like 2 years ago. It was like 6 months in, and we didn't have a great way to image laptops, which is like when you have some type of drive or system over the network that like flashes the computer and makes them all the same, right? Like sets them up for you basically, so you don't have to go on each one and go through the Windows setup. And so at the time we were doing a hardware imaging, we were using a flash drive, and we had these cheap ass like Amazon plastic, you know, like the ones that rotate with the metal hinge thing around it, you know, like flash drives. Usually I clean up the bench before I go home for the weekend, but I left one of those flash drives in the computer. And it like the computer was imaging. I'm like, oh, whatever. I forgot about it. I come back Monday, dude. That flash drive got so hot. It was so cheap. The entire shroud around it had melted, and the computer itself was stuck to the table because it had hardened. Like the plastic had literally all that was left, dude. Like the flash drive and the computer port ruined. Like I could have burned the entire office down knowing that we had these cheap Chinese ass flash drives there. And literally like all I saw was like the board inside the flash drive, and the metal, like you could see it through the metal had melted into putty onto the table. I'm like, that is not good. Like I had to literally like go to the kitchen at work, find some type of spatula and like scrape it off the fucking table. And thank God we replaced, like we were getting construction work done, dude. Cause like my supervisor comes in the other day or like a couple days after. He's like, what happened here? Like on the table. And I'm like, I don't really know. Like I was there when I came in, and he didn't really even question more of it. But I kept that thing. I kept it, dude. It was just a blob. Like it just melted with the chipset in it. And I was like, I don't know what it was. My new coworker that I've been training in brought up. He's like, man, these flash drives are garbage, man. They're slow. They get really hot. I'm like, don't leave one plugged in over the weekend. He's like, what do you mean? And I told him the story, and I was literally laughing telling it just because it was just so bizarre. Like I literally could have burned the entire office down. That shouldn't happen, leaving a flash drive in a computer.
Never heard of that. Was it hot when he got there, or was it
like
cooled
they
off?
would get toasty? It was still kind of hot, like because it was just like the computer was still running. But I've never seen that. Like I've had flash drives get toasty when you take them out, but nothing like that, man. Like literally melt the shrouding around it. That's not good.
I could see you taking a spatula and then not washing it off and putting it back in the workroom. Like, what's all over my spatula? Melted plastic and stuff. I don't know, man. Crazy. That's funny though. That's
no, like
I was wondering about that.
When I went to go remove it from the computer, it like was so hot and brittle that the USB end broke off in the port, so I had to take pliers and like pull like the piece out of the port. That port was done. Like I opened up the computer to see what was going on, and like I'm surprised the computer still functioned. The board was like brown around the port, like it had cooked the port and the board. And I'm like, well, this is going to Dell for repair, I guess. Like, like
that's funny. That's crazy that happened. I don't know they could just melt like that. Must have been
cheap
really
ones,
cheap.
man. Do not buy cheap flash drives. They usually got garbage speeds. Warning. Yeah. Listen here.
Here's something I want to bounce off you guys.
Yeah.
Before the show started or whatever, Paul, you said something about Fortune, like the old like dark web thing.
Oh yeah.
4chan.
Yeah. 4chan. Yeah.
It made me think of when I was down at my first college. I was on a floor with like just a bunch of geeky dudes, and like in college, like I was like a jock, I guess, but I got along with everybody. And so I told him, I was just like, hey Ben, can we go in your dorm and try to get on the dark web later? Like because you hear all these horror stories.
Yeah.
See if like a red room was real.
Yeah.
And so just like do whatever you need to do to try to find one. And it was so depressing because the only thing you could do is we got onto the Silk Road. That was about it.
Yeah. Because you used Tor probably, right? The Onion router, the app to like get onto it. Yeah.
And then hopefully Ross will get out of prison soon. But...
He's in prison?
Oh yeah, the guy who created the Silk Road is
okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that guy. Okay, I thought you were saying like your buddy, and I was like, I totally forgot the guy that made the Silk Road was Ross.
Oh, that's pretty
to at least have someone like hack into my webcam or something, but no.
Well, it happened to my buddy, so it's very real. I talked about it on the cast.
You also have to be extremely dumb to like have that happen though too.
I told him to stay off the dark web, and lo and behold, his webcam got hacked. They literally caught him jerking off on there, and were like threatening to blackmail him, like literally like send us money or this video goes out to all your email contacts, all your Instagram. And he's like, what do I do? He's like, he didn't end up doing anything. Like, he was just like, fucking, I'm not sending you any money. And as far as I know, he didn't. He might have just lied and said he didn't, but I think it just resolved itself.
I would have just been like, send him.
Yeah, send him, right? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, right? You think I care? Like, generally, I don't give a fuck.
1,000 videos of everybody jerking off on the internet. I'll just add to the collection.
Yeah, I'll add to the collection. What are you going to do? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. But like, yeah, at that time too, I'm pretty sure was underage. So like that hacker was in property, had possession of child porn. So he should not have had that. That hacker was in more trouble than he was for sure.
100%.
Like, that was fucked up. I forgot he was definitely underage during that. That's more fucked up now.
Yeah, that's horrible.
We were like probably 16, 17. That's fucked up, dude. Yeah. Fuck that hacker.
Do you have any good dark web stories, Paul?
No, because I seldom really went on there. Like, it wasn't.
You knew the risks.
I just kind of knew the risks, and then like when I went to college for computer security or cybersecurity, like it made me like extremely paranoid. Like, and you would think like, oh, you don't have any social media. It's like, I do, and that's just because I had social media before then, and like I could just get rid of it. But also like everybody's info is already out there, man. Like it's a vast ocean of info, and if they want to get you on something, they're going to get you on something. Just know good computer etiquette, have strong passwords, use two-factor authentication when you can. But I always avoided stuff like that. A few times I've went on the dark web, it was never on my computer. It was always a buddy like, hey, man, I got on the dark web. Let's go look at this stuff. Like, I've seen that you can order like pounds of cocaine, like an RPG, like you could hire a hitman, like tons of like pill sites where you could order pills, like Chinese knockoff pills that would probably kill you, like that maybe have like too much fat in them or something. And a lot of those pills too come from Mexico, I guess, and they are shipped from China to Mexico and then into the US, I guess is how that kind of works. But don't really have any stories, man. Don't have any stories about any people that told me they ran into some fuck shit on there. Just because I kind of knew the risk, but also I was never really interested, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, my cousin, he's a bit older than me, but he's got his own IT business out in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And, he like train against hackers, he would just go on the dark web and like hope for someone to like try messing with his shit.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, oh, game on, and then he'd just start going back to try to counteract it.
Yeah.
He has a successful like he fixes like hacked networks or whatever.
That's cool. I'm sure
he's told me some messed up stories about the dark web.
Yeah, dude.
Because he figured out how to like get into it.
Yeah. I'm sure that he probably has some fantastic stories. And like like if I would have went and gotten my 4-year. So here's the deal with security, and everybody out there is gonna hate me. You have to eat, sleep, and breathe it if you pick it as a career. That's why I didn't go that route for school. I went a different route in IT, just because, like, if you are not at work doing security, you're at home learning about it. Like, it's literally like a full-ass time job. Like, it's a kind of a poor work-life balance. Kind of depends on your work. There's also two types of people in security. You're either really, really good at your job, and you should be working in the private sector, like some private company. You're either really garbage at security, you go work for the government. Like that, because like they'll take anybody that has hands and can use a computer that knows even the little bit knowledge about. But it sounds like your cousin's smart. He's got his own company. He probably makes bank.
Yeah. Well, he got offered a job by the government because he hacked into the Pentagon's firewall. And I was just like, dude,
that's
like
dangerous.
He didn't get arrested.
Yeah, jeez.
Like, all right, guy, you showed us your skills.
News. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the Frank Abagnale story, like Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah,
kind of deal. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio, based on true story. It was social engineering. I like that movie a lot.
I felt like it was a pain to sit through the entire thing, but I do like the story and all that shit he did do. Yeah, and I wonder if I don't think you could do a Frank Abagnale nowadays. Too much social media and
no, it'd be hard to social engineer now. You could instantly figure out, like what's crazy. I've also heard that like the Frank Abagnale story's fake. Like years later, he came out and said that like he never did any of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's true. That could also just be false. But also like what I was gonna get into with security is like if I would have kept going to school like for maybe another couple years, I probably would have been doing stuff like that. We're going out on the dark web, maybe throwing up what's called a honey port or opening up a port on purpose to see who tries to get into it, pinging the port, running a port scan, trying to get in, and then trapping them in there or seeing like what they're going to try to do. Like in school, we definitely like, have you guys heard of what a virtual machine is? It's like when you run a program that runs an operating system within an operating system. So like you could be on Windows 10, right? And you could run this program that's running a Windows 10 or Windows 11 inside the program. So it's like a separate computer. It's called a virtual machine. It's a virtual computer. And that's what you do a lot of like learning on, right? And like in school, we would literally try to hack each other's virtual machines and stuff like that, you know? Like we would literally like I don't know, literally just break it, like leave firewall rules open on purpose and turn security features off and just see what we could do. And we could do a lot of really fun stuff. We had like fake businesses set up and see if you could extract all their financial info and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Interesting.
What was bummer is like towards the end of my time is when we actually got that lab working. So we didn't really get to utilize it all that much. I got to fiddle with it a little bit. I mean, I helped kind of set it up. When I talked to my professor, me and the other 2 guys that built that lab out are the last 2 people to ever touch it. It has been sitting with locked doors because the IT team at LSC won't let people use it.
Why not? Just
thousands of dollars of equipment in there that I spent a long time setting up and reconfiguring, and they're just like, the IT team at Lake Superior College is just not good from what I hear. Like they just locking stuff down because it's different. Like I was in the IT program, they had an actual IT team there that worked for the state, and they were just like, we can't have people having local admin access, this, that. And it's like, that's cool, but how else do you learn? And they're always just like, use virtual machines. It's like, that's also cool. We will use virtual machines when we can. There are also times you can't when you're learning. Like it needs to be kind of like, you need to have an actual computer you can have local admin access on. Well, I don't want it plugged into the network then. And it's like, I get that, but I don't know. They also could have solved it by just, buying an extra line of internet into there, going directly into our lab that was completely segmented from their, like a subnet of the network, and they wouldn't have any problems. But they decided not to do that or foot the bill. And so that lab is just going to sit there and decay. And it's very sad because I talked to my professor literally a couple of weeks ago. He's like, yeah, that lab you set up, they won't let us touch it anymore. It's like, it's just sitting there running, doing nothing.
Like, why? Well, speaking of schools and wasting money, I don't know if you've seen this, but Chicago has 0 students proficient in math and reading at their grade level through like 22 different schools they did. It's really bad. It's like not even like a joke because like the major news outlets are reporting on it. Yeah, just pretty much like they literally don't have like kids proficient in that. Like there's no one that can like meet the minimum requirements, and people are like, what's going on? Because they're spending like an average of like 40K a student, and it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's bizarre. There are a lot of news outlets reporting on it. So there's just
because Paul shit on me because I had Fox News in there, but I'm like, Paul, it's all right. Like 20 other news articles.
You just can't go to one source. No, I know. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's the only reason I put that one is because that was just the one that I saw. But no, I looked into it, so it wasn't just
60 public schools at which 0 students reported grade level proficiency in either reading or math, and a troubling sign for the state's education system. And who knows? They always fudge the numbers across news outlets. Yeah. But regardless, it sounds like a large number of Chicago schools have a fucking problem. See, that's the one thing I've never got about our country, dude. And I'm not saying China's any better, but when it comes to education, they're literally taught 2 languages. Like you're in school from like, I think earlier than what they normally do here. You're in school longer. College is almost mandatory there if you want to make any type of money, like in China, right? Like, and that's what I think sucks. It's like, don't get me wrong. The main problem is funding, dude, and paying teachers. Nobody wants to be a teacher anymore because they get paid like dog shit. The only way to make money as a teacher now is to like literally get your master. You can get like your, you can just keep going and they end up giving you more money because you get higher schooling in it, Because I think one of the teachers we had at East, like she was studying for her master's while teaching, because I think once you have like a higher, what do they call it? A tenure or something, and you have higher levels in schooling, you just get paid more out the gate, and you can get raises. Other than that, you just don't get raises really. Like it's just whatever the school's willing to give you. 2 things I wish I could fix about the education system: the goddamn school lunches and just the education system as a whole. Pay teachers more. I think people should be learning a language earlier.
Oh yeah, I think it should be mandatory.
Like I hated it. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely hated it. But I think when you're younger, you're a sponge, right? Like
you don't even know.
You don't even know. And like I feel like the reason why people hated learning languages in high school is because we're already we're still like retaining information, but not nearly as much as we were when we were 7. Or whatever.
Smoking dope. Yeah. You know what's going on. Back
dope.
In elementary school, that's perfect. Perfect time,
Yeah. Even if it's just like Spanish, like I would say Spanish, because isn't that the second most spoken language in the United States? If I'm wrong, is
Spanish? Is. I think it's like the top 3 spoken languages around the world.
And it's I would just do that or pick from like 2 or 3 of them. But I don't know, Jake, what do you think of the education system? What would you change? Or do you just think do you think it needs to just stay the same? I think it's fucked, dude. Like, it's just like not good compared to other countries.
Standardized testing
is bad.
Because I was horrible. I was a horrible test taker.
Same.
I mean, I'm not the smartest on the planet, but I'm not dumb. And it's just like, okay, so you have these kids study this material for, 3 months, and then it's all going to matter at this final test.
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to remember the stuff you learned at the beginning of the semester, and it's just like, yeah, you're supposed to study it all.
And it's hard.
But what kid is going to absorb a semester's worth of information and get bullets on their test? Like, it's just, unless you're a really good test taker.
Yeah. Dude,
they suck. Like, what were they called? MCAs or something?
Yeah.
I was one of those dickhead kids that were like, oh, you're not grading me on it? A, and I'll just do that over and over again. I remember one time having to retake MCA because they're like, Jackson, you finished it in 30 minutes. What are you doing? And I'm like, you're not grading me. I don't give a fuck. You know, I don't care. I don't care if your school scores go down. You know, it makes I don't care if they think I'm retarded. If they do, they should put me in special
next year and you're in all the
anything.
bad classes. You're like, what?
Yeah, I'm in the remedial class. Like, oh, okay, this is where I end up.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, in high school they had like those college classes.
Yeah, that's what I took some.
You get a credit, yeah.
I, for some dumb reason, always applied for those classes, and then when I actually get to college, like, I took a college writing class senior year. I had to take the same damn class in college because it didn't carry over.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Like, did your guys's, if you guys took them, did your guys's credits roll over?
I thought they did, yeah. Oh, yeah, because I took Spanish, and that was a high school class, so I got high school credits, so that carried over.
Oh, okay.
In middle school, I did.
Yeah. See, I wish I took more in high school, to be honest with you. All of mine transferred except for one class, and it was I went to Lake Superior College at a 2-year degree, and with any 2-year degree there, majority of the time you need between 10 and 20 general credits. With my program, I needed 15 on top of the rest of the credits for the actual program. I walked in, I had 11 out of 15 credits. So I literally just had to take an art class, and interpersonal communications was the only thing that wouldn't transfer over for whatever reason. I took the college level of that. But no, I took college psychology, criminal and civil law, college comp.
That's cool.
Awesome class.
Rich Updegrove, shout out. Great teacher. Yeah. And he's extremely not biased, dude. No. I don't care what anybody like their political beliefs, whatever. That is the most far left guy I've ever met. Never knew it the whole time I was in school because he encouraged you to speak what you thought or what you felt. That is like one of the best teachers I ever had. Rich Updegrove, 100%. Dr. Updegrove. Sorry, because he literally has a doctorate. But
yeah, that's cool.
Super cool teacher.
I don't agree with any of his politics. But when he was running for city council a few years ago, he literally reached out to me to ask if I would write a letter to the editor for the Duluth News Tribune, and just because he's just like, just talk about my teaching style or just write about what you want.
Because he knows he's good at it, man. He's a great teacher.
But I mean, that's what you should be. If you're gonna go into politics, like, that's why we're gonna open up a can of worms.
That's okay.
Oh
no,
yeah,
you're good.
Huge.
You're good.
Why?
That makes for good conversation.
Like, in high school, I was as Republican could get. But now that I'm 24 now, I'm such a, like, right down the center libertarian. It's just like, these people just make such fools of themselves. Like, you know how sad it was that I had to choose between Donald Trump twice and Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden?
Oh, God.
It's just like, are you serious? Like, these are the United States of America rolls out.
They're all bad.
Well, yeah, there needs to be 3 parties, man. Because
I just think parties need to be gone.
Well, something needs to change because they're so polarly opposite. Like, why do you think everyone hates each other now? Because you're either dead set this way or dead set this way. How come we don't have anything?
And I think that's their overall plan, is to get us separated. Yeah. And I know it's like a conspiracy theory, but it really is what they want. They just want you going bigger, and it's so stupid. But like when you said teachers don't or like Updegrove didn't like tell like influences politics into his teaching. I remember wearing a Trump shirt in middle school because I was just like, I'm wearing a Trump shirt. My parents voted for him. I remember wearing that, and I had several teachers like come up to me and say like shitty things. I remember my math teacher, Miss Jutine. I remember this. Kind of, she was cool, but like kind of a cunt thing to say to a kid is to go up to me and be like, "I don't like your shirt because this president is gonna start a war and you're gonna have to go fight in it." She said that exact fucking words to me as a seventh grader. And all I'm sitting is like, okay, whatever. And ironically, it's funny because Donald Trump was the only one that didn't start a war, which is hilarious. There's really nothing going on. But yeah, like that's so dumb that teachers can even influence, like have their politics thrown onto these kids. I don't like it.
Oh
Not a
yeah,
fan.
yeah,
And
and it happens
yeah,
all
go
the
ahead, Jake.
time.
Yeah, it happens
No,
all the time.
just
Hmm.
it happens all the time. Like
Yeah.
when Trump won the first time, or the only time, went into my stats class senior year with a Trump hat on, and the teacher was crying and said, "If you don't take that hat off, I'm calling the principal to come get you." And I'm like, "Okay, you can tell me to take it off, but you're not going to threaten me because I go
Yeah.
against your ideologies."
Yeah,
And it's
Stupid.
like I voted for him the first time, never voted for him the second time. Like I
I
just
yeah, I
I
didn't
voted for
vote.
Kanye.
I voted for him the first time, and then the second time, I think I wrote in Harambe, to be
I didn't even
honest.
vote. I didn't
Oh,
even vote. I just
I,
was just
I
like, you
did.
know what, I really should do this, but I was like, nah, fuck it. I think there should just be no parties. And the problem is, man, I think a lot of things need to change on the political like level as far as terms and stuff. Like, because the problem is we get one guy that goes in and undoes, spends his 4 years trying to undo everything the other guy does, and maybe he gets 8 years if he gets reelected. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think it should be you have one term, 8 years. You cannot run for reelection. That's it. You get 8 years, right? I think that's how it should be. You can still get impeached and whatever. Like that can still happen. Should he be really garbage like 4 years in? And then also, I think Supreme Court, I think it has to have a term limit, not till you fucking die when you're appointed and
Yeah,
you're just
that's
there the whole
so
time.
stupid.
I think the Supreme Court, dude, has literally got to be cycling some younger people in there. Not saying a
Revolving
lot of the
door.
old people are bad, but it needs to be like maybe it needs to have like an election just like we have the presidential election. Like maybe you serve 6 years on the Supreme Court, and then after that you have to run for reelection of your seat.
Yeah.
And
No,
but
I agree with you.
I don't want to get too far from the school topic because there was one thing I was going to say, which is I think we should have generalized teaching, math, science, English, learning a language up until like 5th, 6th grade age, like 12, 13. And then middle school on-ish or maybe mid-middle school on, it shouldn't be really much more of that unless you should be trying to find each kid's strengths and their weaknesses and putting them in their strengths. Oh, there's a kid that makes some of the most beautiful paintings you've ever seen in your life. Maybe he's a creative type and he does more art style things and art history and stuff like that. You got a kid that's just like, you've never seen a kid put together a shed like that, industrial tech before in your life. Maybe you put that kid more into mechanical engineering, architecture stuff, something like that, right? The problem is right now is it's all generalized all the way throughout high school. There's a kid that like writes the most crazy creative stories, put him in composition classes in high school and just have them do like I think we need to stop like doing this generalized crap because I agree with the standardized testing maybe up to a certain point to make sure you can just pass. Like you need to be able to add 2 and 2, right? You need to know like basic math skills, but if you know how to operate a calculator and you can get up to like algebra 1, then I feel like that's good enough. And then unless you really like math, don't pursue it much anymore unless your field that you're really interested requires you. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's way too young to decide things like that, but I feel like there should be like a board of people that has better testing that kind of looks and be like, this kid's really good at this. Like we need to figure that shit out because right
Put
now,
more focus on the kids.
yeah, focus on the kids, not this standardized, like let's try to make it as standardized as possible so no child fails. There's going to have to be children that fail, man. Or like maybe they find out this isn't for them and they switch to other courses or something. But like the whole no child left behind, I get it, but they were literally like passing kids that were just failing to just not have kids fail. That just didn't do anything. And that wasn't good either.
No, that's kind of how COVID went. COVID, I was so in school, if you like school split up in 2 semesters, right? So when COVID hit, I was in high school. I had 1 year left in high school. So it hit 11th grade, and it was right at the start of the second semester, right when COVID hit, then we left school. During that time, teachers were not able to give you a lower grade than what you got in the previous semester. So if you're like me and you're like, oh, I got B's in my previous semester, I'm not doing any work. And guess what? I didn't do. I didn't do a lick of work. And I always wonder. Looking back, I'm like, why did they do that? Why do they not grade kids anymore? They literally just gave them a free pass. And then next year after that, I spent my senior year online. There was no option to go in school until like 3 months till school was ended. It was kind of sucked, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie. I think I did maybe like an hour of work a day. That's it. That's what I did for high school, my final year. And it was just terrible. It's like, how can you, it's really COVID that stopped a lot of this learning. And I wonder if that's the same with this Chicago shit going on
100%.
because the just COVID, oh, online and people don't learn online. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't learn online and do anything. So
It's I worked IT during COVID at a small private school district, and it was 2 years of kids just fucking around doing nothing. And it's because you can't make kids focus when they're at their house. They're going to play their Xbox. They're going to play with their Legos, like I feel bad for the teachers. I feel more so for those kids because they definitely missed out on 2-ish years off and on because, they put them back. They did cycles of students in, they shut it down again. I feel for those kids, man, because the ones that didn't take it seriously or really were eager to learn or whatever, they missed out on that. And I guarantee you that you're right, Jack. The Chicago thing definitely contributed to it. There's no way it didn't.
Absolutely.
And they're still dealing with it. Those students that were, say, in 4th or 5th grade when that happened in middle school are having a hard time catching up because they just fucked around.
They didn't learn that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember you telling me, Paul, in 11th grade, you're like, well, you're still going to do the work, right? So you can learn it. And I'm like, sure I am. It's like, no, I'm not. Because looking back, I was like, I kind of regret maybe I should have actually worked. But at the end of the day, it's like, whatever, high schoolers are going to do what they want to do. They don't want to work. They're not going to.
I feel bad for the kids that were in sports or
yeah,
because I played baseball and softball or baseball and football, excuse me, in high school, and if my senior year would have got taken away from me,
Oh yeah,
I would have been so mad.
well, yeah,
I mean, I was lucky enough to play a little bit of college baseball, but just not being able to end on your terms and just having it taken away from you, that would really be depressing. And
that's
I'm sure
brutal.
kids.
Well, because a lot of those kids too, probably got college scholarships, and how many of those were cut because they didn't practice for an entire year? I mean, maybe they did their private own shit, but yeah, it's like, oh, we can't judge how you did this year because there was no football team. I didn't even think about that. That's such a good viewpoint there. That's terrible.
I mean, our brother Weston was in college. He switched programs 2 to 3 times trying to figure out what he wanted to do, but he was smart where he knew after a month or two, I don't want to do this. And before he wasted a ton of money, he switched or tried to figure something else out. As soon as he switches to welding, man, COVID happens, they lock it down. And how do you weld? You literally go to class to weld. And they were literally just do the book work. He's like, you don't learn welding by reading a book. You learn it by doing it in the class. Yeah. And they would not let him come in. And he literally, I think Weston would have sticked with welding should COVID had never happened. He just dropped the classes after the semester ended because it was too far gone. He's like, you might as well just get the credits. And he just paid it all off after that. And he said, he's just like, school's just not for me. And I get that with him. I think it would have been different though, because could he have actually welded and done what he needed to do? Because that's something I could totally see him doing the way he is. But
that's something I'm going to have to end up doing.
COVID helped me I did the 2-year welding degree at LSU, and I had a job already. I was working part-time already, so I was able to get all of my credits filled early because of work release. And so COVID just helped me graduate probably 6 months sooner, and I'm like, dope, okay.
Yeah. Right, so did you have a welding job before your car salesman job currently?
Yeah.
And is just ended up not being what you wanted to do, or just taking a break from things?
The shop I welded at, the owner would only let the same 3 people run everything, and they were all just conniving douchebags.
Yeah.
I just wasn't going to play by the shop politics because it was stupid as hell. And they called me up to the office one day, and I said I wasn't gelling with the way the shop was wanting to run because I would tell those guys to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Because being conniving assholes, and they let me go. So to that company. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, good
That's
for you. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, it's never fun just getting shit on and like never having the opportunity to learn.
What I feel like I'm working with one of my best friends and I'm having a lot of fun and making better money. So
that's good,
Oh,
man.
yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
hey, if you ever want to dip your toes back into welding, I know a few of my buddies that I don't know if they work at the same place you worked, but I mean, probably not, but they have some decent welding gigs. So if you ever decide to dip back in, like, let me know. I can ask. I talk to them every once in a while. Maybe they have opening positions or something. But I know welding jobs are not hard to find pretty much anywhere.
no.
Like you can literally open a newspaper still, and there's postings there.
Yeah, right. They want you.
Go. It's always a good backup plan because I'll always have for it.
Yeah, you got the degree. That's sick.
I was gonna say, like, selling cars probably make like good chunk of change, because even Sam Hyde was talking about it like way back when. He's like, I used to sell cars and I made way more money selling cars than I did doing this right now. Obviously, that was years ago. Now he's a millionaire. You can do whatever he wants. But yeah, that's all. I always respect people that can like sell cars, because man, it's like a different thing. You have to work with customers all day and stuff like that. Can't be me, man. I'm just too introverted for myself. I would love to, if I was extroverted, I'd love to do something like that, but just not me.
I'm a super introverted dude, but like once you kind of just put yourself in the situation where you have to speak to strangers,
you can recharge your batteries.
You can recharge.
When you're not doing it. Yeah,
it's true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like it's definitely feast or famine, because like my buddy has been doing it since high school, and I always said like, oh, I'd never do that. Like you make money one month and then you're broke the next. So it goes like that, because I mean you can and make like $1,200, and then the next 6 you sell you only make 200. So it's like that one car you made just as much as the next 6. And that's kind of how my month is going currently.
Oh, sorry, man.
So do they not give you, like, I'm just curious, do they not give you like a standard wage, or is there like a standard wage to give you and then you get the commission, or is that just commission?
The way my pay plan is they'll give you minimum wage for the hours you worked, and if you don't make more than minimum wage, you'll get the check.
Oh, okay.
You got to be pretty bad at selling cars too.
Okay.
Because I mean, I never sold anything my entire life, and I've been the top 3 salesman at my dealership for 3 months.
Good for you.
Do you remember your first car sale?
Yeah, it was super awkward because the dude I was dealing with was super quiet and awkward, and so was I, because I didn't know how to navigate conversation with the quiet guy.
Yeah.
So, I don't like this one. All right, well, let me grab the keys for this one. Oh, you don't like this one either? Okay, let's go look at this one. There was no like commentary in between. It was
So I was a salesman, I would say maybe once or twice in my life. There's some other time I'm forgetting about, but I worked at Gander Outdoors when that opened. That tanked.
Yeah.
But that was a garbage job, because I got hired like before the store had opened. So I was literally like one of the guys like putting stuff up on the shelves and like helping with like the design of the store and like doing inventory on everything and unloading freight. And then they told me, oh, this isn't like, we're not going to make you push a sales card, whatever. And then of course a weekend, you have to sell this Good Sam membership. If you don't sell enough, you don't get hours. And I'm like, okay. And I was really bad at that. But I was really good at selling phones when I worked at Cricket. I was very good at selling phones, but I slowly found out I'm great at salesmanship, good at selling stuff. I'm a good speaker, right? Like I can sell people things, but I'm an introvert, man, and my batteries need to recharge. And with that job, I was working literally 7 days a week because they wouldn't hire anybody else at the phone store. So I was getting all the commission. I was making so much money, dude. I was making as much money now as I think I was at that damn phone store, like per check, just because I got all the commission and I was selling all the accessories. And that's crazy to think. And I actually have a degree now. But well, just like with him, he's selling cars. He's making more money than you were welding. So it's just like, on average, I'm sure, over the months. And so I just found that I feel like I could still be a salesman, but it would have to be a good place where I'm not burnt out, man. Like, I can't be working 7 days a week. I need time to recharge. I just can't do it, and I think I could make bank as a salesman, but it never was my career trajectory, I guess, it just never really worked out that way. Should I have stayed with Cricket and moved my way up to like a regional manager, then I wouldn't really be selling stuff much anymore. It would just be like kind of managing the stores and managing the managers of those stores. And I wasn't really looking to do that at the time. So,
yeah. because you have to learn a lot. When selling cars, I suppose you have to know a lot about the cars, getting questions all the time. That'd probably be the hardest thing for me is just learning the cars, like what
Yeah,
you're selling.
we have like different training courses we have to do all the time.
Okay, nice. So
But
we
yeah,
question.
when the best part is when like a truck guy is coming in to look at like a Ram 3/4 ton and he knows everything about the
Oh, yeah,
He
vehicle
did
good
his
to know. Yeah.
research.
thing, and I'm just like, dang, dude, you know more about this than I do. Like I'm just looking on my phone for answers, and you're like, well, and then
I already know.
he'll just start teasing me the whole time, but then I just be a punching bag, so he buys the truck, and
Yeah, all right, like whatever.
yeah,
You buy the truck. It's kind of nice though. It's gotta be nice.
Well, we're
yeah,
literally at like an hour 45 here, so we're
Mhm.
over an hour, but that's okay. It
Yeah,
just has been a good, smooth conversation.
I
I
think
feel
it's
like there's
good.
like a couple. I mean, I'll go through you guys, see what else you want to wrap up if there's any topics.
Mhm.
Jackson, why do you not like Men in Black, the movie series?
Okay. The Men in Black one, it's all right. All right. It's not the
It's the best
greatest
one.
movie. It's fine. But I watched the second one and I wanted to cut my eyes out because I did not. I wasn't having it, dude. I just honestly, I think I don't think Will Smith is funny. I'm gonna be real with you. I just don't think he's funny. At like any point. I liked him in I Am Legend because he was playing a serious role, but man, I watched it when my wisdom teeth were out, and I just didn't enjoy the first one as much as I thought I used to. It's a really cool concept. I think they just executed it poorly, in my opinion. I don't like the way it was shot. I don't like a lot of the characters, but that's just me being cynical. Um, yeah, the first one's all right, but I wouldn't hold it on a pedestal like other people do as one of like the funniest comedies. I didn't think it was that funny, but great acting though, all around. With the Robert Lee in there or whatever the hell his name is.
Jones.
Tommy Lee
Yeah, or
Jones,
Jones.
Robert
Yeah,
Lee, like the
or Lee. I was gonna
Confederate
say,
general
yeah,
or
the Confederate
something.
guy. Yeah, he was in there, right? I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, he was in
Yeah,
there.
Tommy Lee Jones,
Yeah, he's
great
good.
in
I
everything
like
he's
him.
in.
Fugitive. Yeah, awesome.
Fantastic movie. The best part of the first one for me was Frank, the little pug dog.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
guy. Yeah, Frank is good.
forgot about that. Yeah, he's talking dog.
I just thought Bill Paxton. Or no, it wasn't Bill Paxton. What am I thinking?
I was gonna say, like,
That
I'm
was
pretty sure it
Vincent. It
wasn't.
was Vincent D'Onofrio, the guy that plays
Yeah.
Kingpin in like Daredevil. That was the guy that played the like the farmer alien guy,
Mhm.
like the main protagonist.
I love
More sugar.
I love
Yeah.
the opener. It's like 5 minutes into the film. It's like a still frame of his outside of his house. And he's like, I come home to this shitty grub, and he's like, don't take that away from me. I'm eating it.
Yeah.
I love that.
What Jack? Would you say that the Chris Rock slap was the funniest thing Will Smith ever did?
Yes, probably. Honestly, that'd be it. I didn't think the Fresh Prince is funny either.
It was okay. It was a wholesome Nick at Night show.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was for sure.
Like if it was
George-
on, I
like
wasn't
George Lopez.
complaining. George
I'm a
Lopez.
George Lopez guy. That's funny. Like, fuck, dude, I gotta watch George Lopez over again now. That's the top of my list.
It's that meme where you're waking up at 2 a.m. and they're bouncing on the TV.
Dude,
the
it's
theme
funny
song.
because
Low
that
Rider.
happened to me at my buddy's Nate's house, dude. That happened to me like a couple times, and it's like not even like it's like weird. It's like everyone lived the same life, kind of thing. It's weird because same with everybody knew that one kid that wouldn't wear a jacket during winter. Wouldn't wear one.
And
We
wore
all lived the
shorts.
same life. Yeah, exactly.
Any other topics you wanted to talk about at all, Jake, before we maybe wrap it up, call it a show here? Is there anything on your mind you wanted to cover? Any questions you wanted to ask us?
Not that I can think of, man.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on, man. This was
Yeah,
really
it's
fun.
fun.
Like
It's been fun.
yeah, it flew by.
Yeah, when you told me it was like 2 hours, I'm like, damn, really? Felt like a couple hours.
We're
Like
at
an
an
hour
hour
at least.
48 right now. That's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, I like that. It was good though. It was real fun.
Really good show. So for those listening, I mentioned kind of midway through the show, thank you for all your continued support on the shorts and whatnot across YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We're posting them everywhere. You can catch us on all of our platforms in the link tree below in the description. We try to have a guest on every week. It might be after a couple of weeks here, it might be another just Jack and Paul show, but we try to line up guests when we can. If you want to come on the show, please drop a comment in the
let us know.
comment section.
We'll bring
We'll
you
get you on. Just reach out to our business email you can find on our channel. we are going to start live streaming games. Now, if you've been paying attention to any of our pages and following them, we are streaming. Well, we streamed Sons of the Forest last night. It was our first game stream. Who knows if it worked or not, because this is recorded before that. But we do plan on maybe coming up with like a stream schedule here eventually, and actually playing some games, whether it just be Jack or just be me or both of us.
We definitely plan to finish the Sons of the Forest in its entirety. At least that's my plan, is to stream that. But for sure, the stream will already be up, so I guess I don't even need to tell them to watch it.
Yeah, and if you
already have watched it.
Yeah, and if you can't catch the stream either, we do plan on chopping up the VODs, recording the gameplay and kind of chopping it up for YouTube use, should you just want to watch a short video of us playing the game that's kind of cut up. Anything else, gentlemen, before we call it a show?
I'm good.
Jake, thank you once again for coming on. It was a blast. We'll have you on again here, hopefully soon. That was Gutterball 36. Whoa!